Hello you guys, Miss Steele here. I'm down at the bottom and I am recording what I'm doing with my hands. So for this project, we're going to make our own outdoor winter landscapes. We are talking about space and scale this week. So space we know is how far away or how close something is to us, while scale is how big or how little something is. So for this project, you are going to need a piece of paper, a pencil, and an eraser, definitely art tool basics. And then as well, you want something to color in with. I'm going to be using markers and crowns today, but you can use what you have to color in with. So what we are going to do is we're going to draw kind of like a wooded winter walkway, and we're going to use space and scale to make it look more real. So what we want to start with is we want to start with drawing an X through our paper from the corner to the corner, but we want to draw it lightly because we're going to erase these lines later. We're just using them to help guide us. So then you can use a ruler if you have a ruler, and if you don't, you can just try your best, just like I'm doing. And if you see, I'm drawing it very lightly. I could even maybe make it a little bit straighter, which is a good reason to draw lightly, so you can go back and fix it if you need to fix it. I'm going to erase this line I don't need. And now I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to draw a line from one corner to the next corner. And I'm going to draw it lightly because I'm going to erase it later. All right, so there it is. So now we have this big X on our paper, but we're going to do something with it. But the last thing I want to do is I want to draw a line across through the X, and I'm going to draw it lightly as well. And we are going to use these lines to help us make our artwork. So basically, this line right here in the back, that's almost like our dividing line, and we're going to make this the ground and this the sky. And then we're going to use these lines so we can draw things smaller, closer to the center, and bigger farther away. Because we know that whenever we're talking about space and scale, things that are farther away are smaller to us. So what I want you guys to add in is we're going to add some trees in here. And then I'm going to let you guys do whatever you want with your background, and then we're going to turn this kind of into a snowy walking path. So I'm going to start to draw in some trees. And to draw my trees, I'm going to draw kind of like a triangle shape. Like that. And I'm keeping it inside these lines, and then once I get to the bottom, I'll draw it like that. And then I'm going to draw a trunk on my tree. Kind of like that, following along this. And so then for my next tree, I'm going to draw it a little bit bigger, following along here. You can see I'm trying out some different lines. I'm doing that triangle shape, and I'm staying inside these lines and letting these lines guide me. And then I'm going to draw the bottom, and then I'll give it a trunk as well. And then we're going to draw our last one, and this one might even hang off the paper, and that's okay, because this one's going to be our closest tree to me. So I'm starting way here up in the corner, and I'm coming down to draw this tree, because this one is the closest to us. And then I'm going to color them in to help them look more like trees, but for right now, I'm going to leave it like that. Maybe I'll move my trunk over. Maybe I want it to be more towards the edge. Like that. And so now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, and I'm going to draw my 3 trees getting bigger each time. I'm going to try to match them up to the other side, but if they don't match up perfectly, that is okay, because we're still learning, right? I'm sorry if you can hear the train. I live by a train station. So now I'm going to draw my next tree, and it's going to be bigger, and I'm going to try to keep it inside my lines like I did for that one. And then I'm just drawing another triangle. like that. Gonna draw the trunk. And then we're gonna have our last one, and this one almost comes out of the side of the paper. Like that. And again, I drew my trunk over here, but I want it over here. So now we have these trees, and they're getting smaller as we go farther back. So what I can do is I can erase this straight line inside these trees because I don't need it anymore. Like that. And then what I can do is I can take this area, and I think I'm going to kind of give it a bumpy line to the side like how snow has, because this is going to be a snowy path. Like that. And then for my background, I can add more smaller trees if I wanted to, using tiny triangles because they're even farther back, like that, if I wanted to add more trees. And then I can add different things into here if I wanted to. I think I'm going to add like kind of like snow prints. So I'm going to make it look like someone was walking. And it does not have to be perfect. But I have these, and then we know that like with the trees, I want it to get smaller as we go on. To look like someone was walking on the snow path like that. And then I can erase this line at the top of my trees because we don't need it. And then for this line that's kind of behind my trees, that's almost like our ground now. So to make it look snowy, I think I'm going to give it a bumpy line too. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a sun and make it almost look like the sun setting on this snowy trail. So I'm going to draw a big circle like that, right towards the middle, a half of a circle, and then that is going to be my sun to make it a sunset. So now all I have left to do is start coloring everything in, but I want to show you how you can turn your triangle trees into kind of more realistic looking trees. So I'm going to take my green marker, and then what I'm going to do is instead of just following right along this line, I'm going to make little lines and kind of flick them out. It'll make more sense whenever you watch me do it. So I'm going to make a little line and flick it out. And then at the bottom, I'm just going to make a bunch of different lines kind of going different ways. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, like that. And then for my bigger trees, they might be even bigger flicks. I'm going to start, and then I'm going to just make little lines that kind of flick out, like that. And then for the bottom, I'm kind of going to do little lines going every which way. If you want to, you can go back in and add some little lines inside your trees, but that's how I would do it. So I'm going to show you again. I make little lines and I flick them out. So almost like a curved line. And then I'm going to do it on the other side. I'm going to get this all outlined, and then I'll check in with you guys, and then we can get it all colored in, and then you'll have your own 3D looking snowy sort of winter walkway. All right, so I have everything outlined. I decided to outline my snow using gray just to make it stand out more. And I think I'm not going to color it all in gray, but I might color it gray in like certain spots just to kind of make it look more like snow. Like maybe along the walking path, or color it in lightly a few places, because I know that snow's white, but we can make it look a little bit nicer like that. And then I'm going to paint a sunset in my background, but you guys could do whatever you wanted. If you just wanted to do a blue sky with clouds, you could do a blue sky with clouds. To make my sunset, I'm going to color it in, and I'm going to color it in yellow a little bit, and then orange, and then I think like red and pink to make it look more like a sunset. So I'm going to get this colored in, and then we can look at it whenever it's all finished. Finished coloring it in, but I wanted to mention to you guys, I also went in and kind of just added some bumpy and lumpy lines to kind of help the snow have more texture to it. And I think I might even add some more in after this, but that's something else you can do to make the snow look more textured. Right, I am all finished. I'm going to hold it up a little bit closer so you guys can see that for my sunset I did yellow, and then I mixed in a little bit of orange, and then I mixed in some of the red and some pink. And that's what makes it look all colorful, almost like those cotton candy skies. And then we used space and scale for this because we have our trees getting smaller the farther away they are from us to this point. And this is it. I did footprints, and I use, kind of the organic circles. If you guys wanted to add decorations onto the trees, you could. If you wanted to add in some birds or some little hidden animals, you definitely could. But what we're looking at is we're making for sure the trees are getting smaller, and we kind of have that perspective to give us some space with it, so it all makes sense. I hope you guys had a good time. I can't wait to see how your guys' artwork comes out, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, your evening, your afternoon. I will see you next time.